Welcome to the June edition of the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. You can visit us on Facebook, and we always put our meeting announcements and important information out there. So it's a good place to take a look if you're on Facebook. It's a really good a good place to get information about us. Also, you can check out the Mint Canyon Moose website, and these guys are really some fine people here at the lodge. This room here is presented and given to us as a public service by the Moose Lodge. They're really a great group of people. There was a time when we were meeting in the activity center for the city, and the city decided that it was just too expensive to have us meet there. And the Moose Lodge picked us up, and we've been meeting here now for almost 8 years. So if you're interested in joining, let us know, and I'll be sure to help you out. Also, this is a picture of this room at the, I was really amazed. This picture doesn't do this justice. This was at the Sweethearts Ball, and you can see all the lighting that's placed up here. Pretty soon now we're going to continue this track all the way over to the end so that curtains can be put up for the whole thing. But it's available for events, and the room can really be made to look really, really nice. I was really pleased when I was there. So if you know of anybody that wants to hold an event, this is a place that they can rent. For tonight, our meeting agenda and announcements, we'll start off as normal with our flag salute, and then some announcements. Then we'll discuss our meet and greet format just a little bit, because most of you already know about it. Then what we'll have is Doug Fraser, who's going to be running for City Council, will do his meet and greet, and we'll be able to talk to him and answer some questions from the audience. Next, we wanted to talk about the future of the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. The Canyon Country Advisory Committee was originally started in 1998 by the city. It was called, at the time, it was called the Canyon Country Better Than Ever Committee. And at that time, the way the city was operating was they would send a city representative, Terry Moss, to the meeting. She would come out and tell us about things that were happening within the city. And then we would make some suggestions, and supposedly she was taking them back to the powers to be at City Hall. But in 2002, Terry left the employment at the city and moved to Santa Barbara with her husband. And Ken Polskamp took over as city manager. He was not as committee friendly as the prior city manager, George Carvalho. And so he wanted us to change the way we were operating. So we morphed from being really an advisory group to being an informational group for the community. And depending upon what's going on in the community, depends upon how many people are here. I mean, we've had meetings here where the room is just full, 100 people, because something is going on that's very interesting to a large number of people in the group. And the last time that situation occurred was when we were fighting the billboards along the freeway routes. But anyway, we're thinking now it's time to morph again a little bit. And so we're going to be looking for some suggestions and looking for help, not necessarily to change what we're going to say, but maybe the way we're going to get our message out. Then I want to give you a report from the June 14th City Council meeting. I know some of you were there because I saw you on the video when I watched it. But I went through and I started looking at some of the information relative to budgets and relative to district fees. And a lot of it is done with what I call city speak, because if you listen to what they say and you think it's English, it's not right at all. It has its own meaning and a lot of double talk. So we'll talk about that. I'll show you where that occurs within the information that the city themselves puts out on their website. I'm not going to make any of this up. We're going to use stuff right from their website, and I'm going to show you what they're doing. Next thing is I wanted to just lastly give you a little discussion about an affordable emergency ID. On March 29th, My wife passed out in the Elks Lodge and fell. She was unconscious and went to the hospital. And when you got there, because of a little other difficulty that occurred outside, they didn't know who she was. And we had a friend also when we were camping in Hemet who ended up having a heart attack. And so here the 911 group came. The first responders showed up from the fire department. They decided, no, we don't want to transport by ambulance. We'll transport by helicopter. So somewhere between where we were and the ambulance people and the helicopter people and the hospital people, they lost his ID. So they didn't know who he was. And then when his son went to go check on him the next morning, he had a problem. So I just want to give you another little option. I've been talking mainly to people in the senior community about this, but at the same time, I remember when a long time ago, in the last century, when I used to race motorcycles. I used to race them in the desert. And in desert races, you go out on 50-mile loops. You're out in the middle of nowhere. And for the most part, they could tell who you belonged to because you had a blazer on that showed what club you were with. And then, of course, you had a number on your bike which showed who you were. But sometimes even that didn't work. And so we started producing these IDs then, and I didn't think it was anything that it wouldn't be applicable today. By the way, this solution I'm talking about is costs less than $7. And you have to understand that it's a situation because first responders, the fire department, the sheriff's department, the hospital will not read a thumb drive. So don't think if I put all my information on a thumb drive that they're going to know who you are, because they will not put it in because they are technically inept and they're afraid of viruses. So we'll do that. Then our version of public participation, which is the first 5 people that want to speak for a minute. And then a next meeting preview, and actually we're going to give you a preview of the July meeting and the August meeting, and then we'll adjourn promptly at 9 o'clock. Now normally at this time, and the reason why this is blank, normally at this time I look for somebody somewhere around the country that was just a normal person that did something extremely brave. Like, for example, last month I talked about the gentleman that ran in and ended the shooting in Texas, or the individual that ended the shooting here in California. But this month has been a little more hectic for me with my wife in the hospital, and then with our favorite four-legged companion passing away a week ago Monday. So I just don't have anything here for that. The only thing I do have is just the fact that we do have a new four-legged companion, brought her home, and so Lulu is going to be our new house person. There you go. She's 9 weeks. 9 weeks old. Huh? That is a Maltipoo. She has a Maltese face, Maltese hair. Body is more poodle because it's wider than Malteses are and she has a shorter tail than a Maltese. But she looks pretty. And baby, who passed away at 3 weeks before she was 17, and would have been able to celebrate her 17th birthday on the 4th of July in Newhall, so she could see all the people out celebrating her birthday, was a purebred Maltese as well. Anyway, would you like to lead us in the flag salute? Yes. Yeah, come on up here and let's do that. Oh, okay.
Hand over heart, everyone. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm a little short on announcements this month, but we'll go through and see what we've got. In census, which is the weekly fun-filled, action-packed thing put on by the city on Thursday nights. On July the 21st, it will be Census on the Pier. They always have some kind of a theme. I'm not really sure what's happening in the Canyon Country Advisory Committee at the Canyon Country Community Center this month, but we'll find out. Well, that's true. The farmers market will be there as well. Yeah. The Senior Center Celebrity Waiter will be Saturday, July the 16th, and I still don't quite understand the pricing, but a table for 8 is $2,000, a table for 10 is $3,500, and an individual seat is $250. So, does that pricing make sense to you? Didn't make sense to me either. Anyway, that's when it will be. At the Newhall Community Theater, which it used to be the old Newhall Elementary School, there is a show going on called Shaboom. And like I said last month, I didn't want to tell those people that, because this is supposed to be a 60s show, that Shaboom was a song from the 50s. But that's okay. That's okay, because I knew every song that was